The Soviet Union, a global superpower, the heart of communism, and the biggest threat the West ever faced. It launched the first satellite into space, commanded the largest army on Earth, spanned 11 time zones. And then, in just one December evening in 1991, it was gone. No bombs fell on Moscow. No army marched through Red Square. The Soviet Union collapsed from within. But why? In this video, we'll explore how the Soviet economy rose to power, the key flaws built into its system, the oil boom that hid the rot, Gorbachev's final reforms, and the tragic human cost of it all. Stick around, because what you're about to learn might surprise you. Part 1. The Rise of the Soviet Economy. Let's rewind. After the Russian Revolution of 1917, the Tsarist monarchy was overthrown. Lenin and the Bolsheviks seized power, promising a workers' utopia. In 1922, the Soviet Union was officially born, an experiment in socialism with one goal: create a classless, industrialized superstate, fast. Under Joseph Stalin, the USSR launched aggressive 5-year plans. Private businesses banned. The government controlled all production, from grain to steel to socks. Factories ran on central orders. Farms were collectivized. Millions of peasants were forced to give up their land. Did it work? In the beginning, yes, sort of. The USSR transformed from a rural society into an industrial giant. Dams, steel mills, railroads, even satellites in orbit. But the cost was staggering. Millions died in famines, especially during the early 1930s. The Holodomor in Ukraine, a man-made famine, killed millions. Dissent was crushed. Productivity came at the barrel of a gun. Still, by the 1950s, the Soviet economy was the second largest in the world. On paper, it looked unstoppable. Part 2, the systemic flaws. Tone analytical, slightly skeptical. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. The Soviet economy was centrally planned. That means every product, every quota, every price was dictated by the state. Imagine trying to plan every loaf of bread, every shoe size, every train part for 290 million people without Google, without Excel, without even calculators in the early days. Insane, right? Bureaucrats made decisions years in advance, often with no idea what people actually needed. Shortages and surpluses were everywhere. You might wait 6 years for a car, but still couldn't find toothpaste. Efficiency didn't matter. Factories were rewarded for quantity, not quality. So they'd make 1,000 tons of nails, all uselessly large, or 10,000 shirts, all size medium, even if no one wanted them. Innovation was discouraged. Why invent anything new when the state paid you the same either way? No competition meant bad products just stayed bad. Part 3, the oil addiction. Here's the part most people don't know. The Soviet economy was secretly addicted to oil. In the 1970s, global oil prices soared, and since the USSR was rich in oil and gas, it made a fortune. This money papered over the rot. It paid for food imports. It kept the factories running. It even funded the military and the war in Afghanistan. But when oil prices crashed in the 1980s, the entire system began to unravel. Enter Mikhail Gorbachev, the final leader of the USSR. By the mid-1980s, the economy was stagnant. Productivity was falling. People were frustrated. Gorbachev launched 2 major reforms: Perestroika, to restructure the economy; Glasnost, to allow openness and free speech. The idea? Inject market reforms and make the government more transparent. The result? Chaos. State-run businesses lost protection, but had no market system to survive. Corruption exploded. The ruble collapsed. People's savings vanished overnight. And Glasnost? It revealed just how broken the the system had always been. Citizens saw the truth. They saw how far behind they really were. The dream was dead. By 1991, Soviet republics began breaking away, and on December 25, 1991, Gorbachev resigned. The red flag over the Kremlin was lowered. And just like that, the USSR was gone. Part 5. A shocking fact. Here's something you probably didn't know. In its final years, the Soviet Union was spending 25% of its GDP on the military. 1 in every 4 rubles for tanks, nukes, and fighter jets. Meanwhile, people were standing in line for toilet paper, doctors were leaving hospitals to sell vegetables, professors became taxi drivers, and workers were being paid in vodka because the ruble was worthless. This wasn't just an economic failure. It was a collapse of everyday life. Let me leave you with a story. Winter 1990. Leningrad, now called St. Petersburg. A retired school teacher, a grandmother, stood in line for bread for 7 hours. When she finally reached the front, there was nothing left. She fainted in the snow, still clutching a worthless ration card. She had taught students about the greatness of socialism. Now, she couldn't afford to eat. Her story wasn't rare. It was millions. The Soviet Union didn't just collapse on paper. It collapsed in kitchens, in hospitals, in hearts. A superpower didn't fall with a bang. It crumbled, slowly and silently, until one day it was just gone. If this story moved you, leave a like and share it with someone curious about history. Drop a comment. What part surprised you the most? And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the rise and fall of empires, economics, and the hidden forces that shape our world. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious.